and welcome to the ARCS. We're live here from Rockingham, North Carolina for the running of the Tropicana 60. Now let's take a look at your top 10 qualifiers in today's race. Starting on the pole is the 18 of Noah Hobson, your resident Crip. In second is Tyler Seville. In third, Draven Sandy. In fourth, Ellie Buss. In fifth, Ringus McDingus. In sixth, Dave Wilson. In seventh, Matthew Bussey Jr. In eighth, Sean Carson. In ninth, Tristan Fish. And rounding out your top 10, Jordan Walker. Let's take a look at the rest of the drivers and get right on into the action at the Rock. And we're live here at Rockingham Speedway. We've got Noah the Crip Hobson on the pole, and on the outside, Tyler Seville. The pace car's diving off, and we're seconds away from going green here at the Rock. Green flag's out, and we're underway. Draven Sandy, aggressive push to the 18 of Noah Hobson, going into turn one, tight on the bottom here. So we've got Bussey Jr. with a great opening on the bottom there, and he'll get a lot of space as Maxwell Smart's full wide, and Quinn Porter and Beth Sanders get into each other. Clay Stone's in the wall. Oh, and Quinn Porter gets spun out just another time, just for good measure, and we'll see the race back to the line as Noah Hobson's going to take us back under yellow. And we're back here at Rockingham, North Carolina. We've got to look at the replay here, and looks like we've got Jacob Bradley. He's not a part of this specific wreck, but he was in the wall going into turn two here. But the real accident arises from, as you can see, the Husky Tools Camry on the bottom. Maxwell Smart gets into Dre Heron. Dre Heron gets into Beth Sanders, and Beth Sanders ultimately cleans out Quinn Porter. Let's take a look. Quinn Porter and Beth Sanders get together. Clay Stone hits the wall hard. Elias Goodbias with a little bit of damage. And Quinn Porter goes around for a second time. And that's the first wreck here. And we're back here at the Rock. We've got the second accident that happened under caution. And this was going into turn one after the drivers took the yellow flag. And let's take a look here. Marin Kozarich, Andy Seville get into it. Denzel Scott's an innocent victim. And everybody piles in here. Multiple cars with damage. Jacob Bradley was in the wall in turn one, and Jarrett Trudell is vibing on the embankment. He's got a funky beat going on, but we'll get back to the action in just a moment. And we're back here at the Rock after an early caution. 5 of 59 complete here in the Tropicana 60, and Noah Hobson's going to take the green flag. It's Matthew Bussey jumping to the bottom once again. He did that earlier in the race. He found a hole, and he's up to third place. So we've got a little bit of 3-wide action back there, but that's not important, as we've got Matthew Bussey Jr. still in third. Noah Hobson, Ringus McDingus. He seems to always be up at the front. We'll see if Ringus McDingus gets spin happy here. We saw drivers in qualifying get really close to each other and almost spin each other out, and we saw that a little bit today, but we'll see if any drivers, nope, and no drivers are close enough to spin each other out here. This Ringus McDingus is just going to settle in behind that, and Marin Kozarich is on the bottom of the track coming down pit road. So is Brandy Harper. We don't know if this is scheduled stops or if there's something mechanically wrong with both of those cars. That would be kind of strange, but we'll keep an eye out for them once they rejoin the field. But most likely a strategy call there, as Matthew Bussey Jr. is still in third. Oh, Sean Carson and Jordan Walker getting into it there. I thought the 10 car was going to go around. Let's stay with these guys. I feel like Sean Carson might send that 10 car around, but so far so good here. So we'll stay with them as Noah Hobson's still in the lead on the bottom of your screen, as you can see. Cars are getting more tightly packed together, and Sean Carson, I think, wants to get around that 10 car, but does not have the speed, as Noah Hobson is still in front, and 10 laps have been completed here in the Tropicana 60. So we've got Tyler Seville on that outside line. holding up Ellie Buss and Jared Jansen. They both want to get down on that low lane, but Maxwell Smart, I don't think is going to. Maxwell Smart and Jerry Funk are going to let him in, but whoa, Jared Jansen goes top to bottom and slides underneath Tyler Seville. That top line, while it can be fast if you have help, definitely by yourself is not going to work. As we got Jordan Walker to the inside of that 36 of Keith Vega for sixth place, I should say. So Matthew Bussey Jr.'s getting that suck off of Ringus McDingus. But I don't know if that's going to get him close up. Dave Wilson. How about Dave Wilson in a top 5 position after a terrible run for the most part at North Wilkesboro Speedway? Ooh, Pedro Perez, and I believe that's Callian Bogarts. Whoa. I don't know. I think the camera angles are just intimidating me here. I could have swore that 93 was loose. And, ooh, top 3 cars nose to tail now. Or darn near close nose to tail. But yeah, as I was saying, back to Dave Wilson. Just a great overall run for Dave. Ooh, Marin Kozarich is, I believe, back out on track. Ooh, Andy Seville, bad day. Brandy Harper pit, though. Beth Sanders involved in that wreck. Cassidy Reynolds with another damaged race car. Another week with another damaged car for Cassidy Reynolds. Looks like everything should be good throughout the pack. No. Ooh, and Tristan Fish is underneath Matthew Bussey Jr. No pass for the lead yet. Surprised. I think Ringus is waiting to make a calculated move on the leader, as we're 14 of 59 complete here in the Tropicana 60. Whoa, we got some funky things going on back here as we got Draven Sandy with a top 10 spot here. Ooh, Theophilus Morgendorfer under or around Paris Riley. Not underneath yet, but we'll see what happens in this corner. Wow. I am surprised nobody's went off the front bumper of any of these cars, at least for that first, except for that first lap incident where the 2 wrecks happened, one under caution and then one during green flag or going to yellow flag conditions. But the top 3 are still close nose to tail-ish, and then you've got Tristan Fish, yeah, there you go, in 4th place. Sean Carson drafting off of that 36 machine of Keith Vega for the 6th and 7th position. Draven Sandy escaping the craziness that is that bottom line tango on the bottom. That's got Maxwell Smart in tow, and as well as Jerry Funk, last week's winner at North Wilkesboro Speedway. After some renovations by the ARCS crew, we were able to get a race back there and back to the Rock as well. So great job by our staff here, and Pedro Perez giving that 93 a nice push down the front straight. Sean Carson's going to look to the outside, but I don't think he can roll it that great, and that's going to give Draven Sandy the opportunity there. Ooh, Matthew Bussey Jr. was thinking about getting around Ringus McDingus for that 2nd place spot. My bad. And yep, still a bunch of cars in the back that are just trying to survive here is Cassie Reynolds. Like I said earlier, another bad day, but Quinn Porter's car seems to be okay. I just think he got caught up with the lap cars back there, so, or not lap cars, but the damaged cars, so he's kind of stuck back there. These are some of the damage. Denzel Scott, wow, what a fall from grace for Denzel Scott early in this race. He got involved in that wreck under. Oh, and Trevor Walker nearly turns Maxwell Smart. I was fearing that was going to happen, but with these cars getting so close to each other, there's no room for error, and Trevor Walker's going to send Smart up the hill, but is Smart going to be able to get a good enough run on the high side? Nope, and I believe Trevor Walker's going to get the spot here going into turn 3 and 4. Ooh, we've got that draft train on the bottom there. Has anything changed for the lead? No, and it's actually getting more strung out as we've got 20 of 59 complete here in the Tropicana 60 as the top 6 drivers have strung themselves out, but again, a almost 60 lap race. We could see some pit stops here. I'm not sure if we will have pit stops, but it's probably a matter of when. Oh, and we have 4 wide. Somebody must have been in the wall. Diego Tacone was almost 4 wide there. Something was amiss with that JTG Daughtry racing car. He was way almost in the wall. Probably was in the wall, actually. our Auto Club winner on the West Coast swing, Denzel Scott and Mark Ware. Everybody's trying to sort themselves. But, oh, and Trevor Walker didn't get around Maxwell Smart for that 14th position, as Trevor Walker's on that outside. You got Roland Heidfeld. You can make all the Roland jokes you want, but he's doing not too bad today. So we can't make a joke about him quite yet unless he wrecks. And, ooh, Ringus McDingus trying to get some fresh air to the front of that Ford Fusion. Trying to step out behind Noah Hobson. And Marin Kozarich is still back there. And, ooh, if you look at Matthew Bussey Jr., he gained time on Ringus McDingus. Ringus is really fallen off. He must have used his tires quite a bit to try to get up to Noah Hobson. And Bussey might get around McDingus here. If not in... It's a matter of when, not if. We'll see how this battle shakes out here. But Noah Hobson, our resident Crip, is loving this. Because you got two cars that are battling for second place, and Noah just has to keep driving. He does not have to look in the mirror. But Tristan Fish has allowed himself to catch up slightly. Dave Wilson, like I said earlier, really good run for him. Jerry Funk, last week's winner at North Wilkesboro. And I believe, I thought the cars were lining up single file because of a caution. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Roland Heidfeld was trying to roll someone up into the middle groove to get a spot. And I said I wouldn't do the Roland jokes, but when the opportunity presents itself, you must take it. And speaking of taking opportunities, Dmitry Yanukovych is going to slide underneath that Paris Riley machine after he gave Paris a little love tap going into turn 2. Jared Jansen can't decide what lane the car wants to be in, and almost 3 wide there with Ellie Bus on the bottom. But something's going to brew here and cause a caution. It would probably be toward the back here, at least in the latter half of the field, as they're all bunched together. No pit stops, surprisingly, as we're almost, well, we're not halfway yet, but we're pretty close to halfway. We're about 5 to 10 laps removed from halfway, as 27 of 59 complete. No cautions as I check the lights, and Bussey's going to look outside of Ringus McDingus. I feel like that Ringus McDingus machine is holding Bussey up. He has been a lot slower than Noah Hobson these last couple of laps, and as you can see, Tristan Fish and Dave Wilson are both catching these two cars. So Bussey is trying to find a way around McDingus at any means necessary, and if that means trying to work an outside lane in, Bussey's going to try to make that work. But again, these drivers are slower on, well, it feels slower, but on track, but still, I mean, oh, as we got Sean Carson and Jerry Funk. Jerry Funk almost in the top 10. Good run for him. After a win, you could get a top 10 finish. That would be impressive for him. And looks like the drivers are trying to use the middle lane now. This is kind of interesting. Oh, cars on the apron here. And I believe they're going to be pitting. Yep, we've got pit stops. And the first car in is Noah Hobson. And, well, Jacob Bradley is back toward the back of the field. And oh, Noah Hobson and Jacob Bradley almost get into kerfuffle. Oh, Jacob Bradley's getting impatient with Noah Hobson. Let's see if there's contact here. As it looks like the driver's coming into pit. Noah Hobson is your leader still, but he's on pit road. Draven Sandy in third. As the rest of the drivers are going to come in and pit here, as Mark Ware is still on track. We'll take a look at some of these pitting drivers. Then likely catch up with whoever we deem came out on top on pit road. As Noah Hobson looks like he's come out on top on pit road, but Mark Ware, I think, stayed out still. So the cycle will have to work itself out. But I believe Jordan Walker got that second spot. Impressive. And as drivers get up to speed, we could see, oh, accidents, as I just said. got slower cars on track. That is possible. Ooh, Matthew Bussey Jr. comes out. Could this strategy work for him? Oh, and Mark Ware is going to get sent sideways, almost into Bussey Jr., and this might be a caution. Oh, and Dave Wilson's collected. Oh, and they're right in front of the leaders. A big wreck is about to happen. Draven Sandy's almost over the pit wall. Up and over. Oh, this is a massive crash. What has befallen the pack here at Rockingham? Multiple drivers involved. We're going to have to get multiple replays of this. What an unexpected turn of events, and we'll have to come back here after commercial break, and I need a drink. Whew, and we're back here at Rockingham after the biggest wreck, I think, ever in ARCS history. I know we're setting records every week when it comes to wrecks, but looks like we've got here, at the beginning of this wreck, we've got the 10 car of Jordan Walker, who was up toward the front of the pack after pit stops, but Mark Ware was cycling into a different strategy, and Mark Ware here was trying to come down pit road, or the entry to pit road, and Jordan Walker was having none of it. So let's take a look here at the beginning stages, and you've got Bussey Jr., who almost gets collected, unfortunately, here, but he escapes, and then we've got Mark Ware trying to come up the track. Dave Wilson, poor Dave Wilson, and a pack of cars, coming up to speed. Oh, and Jacob Bradley gets into Mark Ware, and here spawns the demon here at Rockingham. Oh, my God. Oh, and Pedro Perez has got a car on top of him. Oh, and we'll have to get multiple angles of this one, as we'll be right back with another angle here. And we're back here at Rockingham Speedway, and let's take a look at Draven Sandy's craziest ride of the season as Dave Wilson spins like a top, collects Draven Sandy, and Maxwell Smart sends him for a journey as Carter Hayden gives him some help, and he lands on top of Pedro Perez. Does a little bit of a back bumper slide, and multiple drivers involved, lots of damage. We'll get you back to the action here, but crazy crash here at the Rock. And we're back here at Rockingham Speedway after a chaotic pit cycle, and the top 4 cars are not on the lead lap. They are trying to get their lead lap back due to the rules. But Noah Hobson in the fifth car in line is your leader, so we'll see how this pans out. And we've got Matthew Bussey's going to dive to the inside as these lap cars, 3 wide for the lead. Jordan Walker in the bottom. Noah Hobson got cycled out. Jordan Walker, Tristan Fish on the bottom. Oh, there's a lap car wrecking in front of him. Is this going to affect the leaders? Tristan Fish on the bottom underneath Jordan Walker, and they're going to race back to the line. Tristan Fish, I think, is going to get the lead to the caution flag, and Tristan Fish does. And we're back here at the Rock. We've got a replay of the accident that happened with the lap cars right in front of our leader at the time, Jordan Walker. Let's take a look. Looks like Theophilus Morgendorfer gets spun off the front bumper of Quinn Porter, and hopefully nobody else gets tagged here and everybody makes it, surprisingly. And we'll get right back into the action in just a moment. And we're back here at the Rock. Let's go through the field here and make sure there's no wrecks. And Tristan Fish is your leader here at the Rock, as we got 3 wide for third. Matthew Bussey Jr. on the outside. Jordan Walker trying to chase him down. Got no cars around here. I believe we're all green around the speedway. As we check the caution lights. Nope, no lights. As Ringus McDingus is going to try and get back here. And the caution is out here at the Rock. I just checked the lights as they crossed the finish line, and Elias Goodbias must be involved here. And we're back from another wreck-filled caution here, and let's take a look at the replay. Cassie Reynolds gets into Callian Bogarts and collects multiple drivers. Trevor Walker, Quinn Porter, and Elias Goodbias. Mark Ware gets spun up there too, but 5-6 drivers involved, and more drivers are probably going to be out of this race. And we're back here at the Rock in North Carolina, and crazy stat here before we go green. 20 out of the 40 cars in today's race, as of right now, are either a lap down or out of this event. This is probably the most ever we've ever had in a race out of it or either a lap down. So this is a race of attrition here, folks, as Ringus McDingus has claimed the second spot over Jordan Walker. And I heard somebody ping the wall back there, but I believe we're going to stay green as Callian Bogarts is in that third position, my bad. As Ringus McDingus has been Noah Hobson. My goodness, Noah Hobson, the resident Crip, dominated early this race, and he is back fighting for a top 10. What a race here at the Rock, and what a wreck. That just changed the complexion of this race entirely, as we're almost about 10 laps to go here at the Rock, as Ringus McDingus is now being tasked with tracking down that 27 car of Tristan Fish. And my producer's telling me in the booth that there is a caution, and everyone's lined up together, and we've got another wreck with almost 10 laps to go. Let's take a look at the replay. And we're back here at the Rock with another accident. Looks like we've got Paris Riley, Andy Seville, and Brandy Harper in this wreck. Let's take a look. Andy Seville gets into Brandy Harper, spins her up into the top lane, and Paris Riley's just an innocent bystander. Trevor Walker, Theophilus Morgendorfer all get a little taste of the action. And we'll get right back into the action in just a moment. And we're back here at Rockingham. We're going to get the green with about 8 laps to go, maybe a little less here, as Tristan Fish is the leader, and Ringus McDingus with a good jump there. Callian Bogarts as well, and Bogarts is going to take a look to the inside of McDingus, as we've got 2x2 through the pack here. As they're 2 wide for second, Tristan Fish is loving every second of this. The 2 wide battle will hold McDingus back, but McDingus drops in line. This might give him a chance to get to the lead, as we have about 6 laps to go as they come to the line. Here is Tristan Fish. Our surprise leader right now is Noah Hobson's fighting his life. His life is on the line here for a top 10 finish. As Denzel Scott, involved in some earlier wrecks, might find himself in the top 10. Denzel Scott fans, would you believe it if I told you Denzel Scott might get a top 10 here at the Rock? As Matthew Bussey's pushing the heck out of Jerry Funk. Jerry Funk, he's getting funked up. Oh, and we got a caution. Spin in front, I believe. Or something went around, and Joshua Harrison's up in smoke. Let's take a look at the accident. And we're back here at the Rock, and it looks like we've got Joshua Harrison and Ellie Buss. Let's see how interesting it gets here. Ellie Buss, Joshua Harrison get in the wall. Tyler Seville, Brandy Harper, and Brandy Harper sends Joshua Harrison for a flip, and he lands on his wheels. Let's get back to the action, folks. And we're back here at the Rock. 57 of 59 complete after our last caution. We're going to get a 2-lap dash here at the Rock. Good thing we brought it back for this excellent finish here, but we'll see who wins. Will it be Tristan Fish, Ringus McDingus, or Callian Bogarts? Might not even be either of those drivers. Let's get the green and we're underway. Keith Vega with a nice shove to Callian Bogarts to put Callian Bogarts up to second place. Callian Bogarts has not won it all this season. Neither has Tristan Fish or Ringus McDingus. These drivers are hungry here at the Rock. But only one can win. Now, looks like Callian Bogarts might be clear of Ringus McDingus, but that battle for second might have just held him up long enough. And we're on the final lap here at the Rock. No caution is going to set us back here for an overtime finish, as Tristan Fish has gapped the second and third place car. I think the battle's for second here, as Keith Vega might sneak out a second place position, depending on how this falls. But we'll see Tristan Fish here as he comes out of turn 3 and 4 for the final time, and Tristan Fish is going to win the Tropicana 60 here at the Rock. Congratulations to Tristan Fish on a much-deserved win. And we're back here at the Rock in North Carolina, and let's take a look at your top 10 finishers in today's race. With the dramatic win here at the Rock, Tristan Fish in second with a squeaky clean race. Callian Bogarts in third, Ringus McDingus in fourth, Keith Vega in fifth, Jordan Walker In 6th, Dmitry Yanukovych. In 7th, Roland Heidfeld. In 8th, Matthew Bussey Jr. In 9th, the Crip Noah Hobson. In 10th, Jerry Funk. And we have only 13 drivers that managed to finish on the lead lap in today's race, and that's a new ARCS record, as we have roughly 17 drivers that all crashed in this race and were out because of the accident.